Hello, Dancing with the Stars fans. I'm Gold Derby editor Daniel Montgomery here with our contributors Jeffrey Kare and Cordell Martin, as every week, to discuss both the results of this past week's Dancing with the Stars, which was Janet Jackson night, and what's to come this coming week on Dancing with the Stars, which will be the semifinals. We've only got two shows left, 2 weeks to go. So, starting with Janet Jackson night, it was double elimination, 8 celebrities down to 6. So 1/4 of the competition wiped out in one fell swoop. And it was partly surprising, partly not. We had Olivia Jade go home automatically, which, she'd been in the bottom 2 a couple of times. So we knew that the writing might have been on the wall for her without like some extreme judges intervention. But then Jimmie Allen went home, which we'd never seen him in the bottom 2, and his scores had been good, but the judges kind of tanked his scores this week. Maybe to give him the rest of the week off so that he could do the CMAs on Wednesday. So I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on for that one. But what did you think about that double elimination, Cordell? We also had Melora in the bottom 3. The judges saved her over Jimmie. So what did you think about that?
Yeah, first up, I thought Janet Jackson night was one of the best nights this season. Everyone really brought their A game. Initially in our conversation last week, I thought maybe Suni was going to be in trouble and Cody, but they both escaped the bottom 3. I wasn't surprised about Olivia. I mean, I think we kind of had, our inklings based on her being in the bottom that she would probably be one of the 2 to go. Jimmie, I was kind of surprised going into this week. However, with the judges' scores, I just knew he was the sacrificial lamb of the week, unfortunately. But at least, he got a country music award and consolation prize this past week. So congratulations to him on that. I was a little surprised by Melora being in the bottom 3 since she's never been in the bottom 2. Up until then. However, with the competition so steep, there's only so many contestants that, can escape the bottom. But with that, I think, now that we see that Cody, Iman, and Amanda have not made the bottom 2, those 3 might be, one of those 3 might be the potential winner.
What did you think about that result, Jeffrey?
Well, yeah. As we're getting closer to the finals, don't have as many, weak links left in the competition. So yeah, obviously someone good is bound to go before then at this point. And and I echo with what's been said about Olivia already, where with her having been the bottom 2 before, it seems like her days were numbered. Despite her and Valo giving an exquisitely steamy routine this past week, it looked like their time was up. And Jimmie, I thought he and Emma did an excellent routine this past week. And just when they were getting better, their time was up. So it was kind of bittersweet to see Jimmie go. It's hey, he at least gets to spend more time with his newborn kid, and and again, to echo Cordell, he also won a country music award a couple of days later as a consolation prize. So hey, good for him.
About going back to Melora, as Cordell was talking about, I wasn't surprised that one of those top teams was going to end up in the bottom 3. I'm like, the judges, will sometimes throw out the big scores to keep competitors safe. But this time, they literally a 3-way tie at the top of the leaderboard with perfect scores. And then they all got bonus points in their dance-offs was Amanda Klutz, Suni Lee, and Melora Harden. So I'm like, one of them's in the bottom 3. I was thinking it was going to be Amanda. We hadn't seen her in the bottom 3. And on a week where she didn't seem vulnerable, might have been exactly the kind of week where she did land in the bottom 3. But instead, no, it does seem like her fan base is holding up. And Suni did get a bump, I think, from the fact that she was physically ill last week.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of, in addition to her having probably her best performance this week, on a samba, no less. So, extra bonus points for difficulty. So I wasn't surprised that she stayed safe. But yeah, Melora is one of those contestants who, like, as Carrie Ann and Abba was saying, she's one of the older contestants. The older contestants don't tend to stick around that long or do this well. And I wasn't sure how much of the Office fan base would stick by her here. And she's done really well. If you asked me at the start of the season, will Melora make the semifinals? I would have said probably no chance. So really thrilled for her. Do you think she has a shot at the finals still, Cordell?
Oof. It's just gonna be really tough. I mean, without knowing the dances for next week,
Which we'll get to.
okay. So I think it's split into, two separate categories. So you have your, top contenders, which I think are Amanda, JoJo, and Melora. I think two of those out of the three will make it to the finals. And then you have your, middle of the road, most improved contestants. So that's Suni, Iman, and Cody. And I think two of those are going to make it. So unfortunately, we're going to see one from each of those two groups go home next week. I unfortunately think Melora might not make it in the finals just because I think Amanda is pretty much safe. JoJo, I think, will probably be safe, especially she's, the judge's pick. Iman has the fan base. I think he's a lock. And for some odd reason, Cody has this amazing fan base as well. So I think that might be your final four.
Yeah, I think Amanda is relatively safe. I think despite landing in the bottom two once, I think JoJo's probably pretty safe for one of those four spots. And I agree, Iman's probably got another one because of just his fan base and his charisma. It's really going to be about that last slot. And I think it's really going to depend on how they dance because it's going to come down to who's eliminated automatically and then who the judges save. So it's going to be really close. Before we get to that, we will get to those dances. Jeffrey, what do you think on the outset? What does the finals look like to you?
Well, there's so many different possibilities. I do agree that, I think JoJo and Amanda are the two almost locks. I mean, granted, anything can happen, but I think those two are almost locked up for the finals. And it's possible we could still see Cody and Iman join them with, Suni and Melora definitely looking, I guess they're looking vulnerable. And, I guess, I mean, hopefully, Melora and Suni do really well next week and get enough votes to, I guess, overcome their vulnerabilities.
So for the semifinals coming up on Monday, we've got two dances. There will be the redemption dance, which we're familiar with from past seasons, where celebrities get a sort of do-over on a previous dance style that they might have struggled with, and they get another chance at it with some mentorship from the judges. And then we've got is there another round? Yes. And then there will be the new dances as usual.
Okay.
I was just scanning the press release to see, I was seeing oh, what's the thing? So it just lists each celebrity once and then says the two dances they have. So, we will go through those one by one. I'm going to go with their list and discuss both dances at once for each celebrity. JoJo Siwa is performing a redemption Argentine tango, which I think is really good for her. Not that I thought her first Argentine tango was bad. And then, lucky girl, she's got the finale. Her new dance is a contemporary. And the Argentine tango will be to Santa Maria by the Gotan Project, and then the contemporary will be Before You Go by Louis Capaldi. Oh, that's an emotional song too. What do you think about those, Cordell?
Yeah, that definitely, I mean, especially that contemporary, if that doesn't get her straight to the finals, I don't know what else the girl can do. And I think the Argentine tango is going to be another great dance with her. She just knows how to sell each dance. So I think as long as the fans vote, I think she should be a lock in terms of just having that straight fan vote to go to the finals.
Yeah, and it's also a perfect opportunity for her to like show that range because they're such different
Mhm.
styles. What do you
Exactly.
think, Jeffrey?
Well, yeah, I don't think she should have a problem nailing these because I mean she's been killing it throughout all the competition so far. So I just don't see how she could possibly disappoint at this point.
And then we've got, as we discussed earlier, Iman Shumpert. His redemption dance will be a tango to Telephone by Martinez. And then their new dance will be a jazz routine to Dark Fantasy by Kanye West. um, Tango, again, he's the kind of dancer who, like, the style, if it suits him and his height and
Yeah.
his height difference with Daniela, often says a lot. I think the jazz is going to be where he cements that position in the finals because they're just going to have fun with it, and it's going to be so personality driven that his fan base is going to eat it up. What do you think, Cordell?
Yeah, I mean, clearly the producers have JoJo and Iman in mind for the finale because I mean, having a jazz routine for him after their routine for Halloween week was one of the most talked about performances of the season. I think he, like JoJo, will probably have a straight shot to the finale based on those performances. I can see them kind of lowballing him on the first dance, so we'll probably see nines. But I think he'll get his perfect score with that jazz routine.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I think Cordell just made some very valid points, and yeah, I think they're all definitely possible. I mean, Iman and Danielle's dance this past week. I thought Danielle and the backup dancers were outstanding. Well, Iman, I thought it looked like he was doing his best trying to catch up with everyone else. So, I mean, I guess hopefully he and Danielle will be on more equal footings in both routines they have coming up.
And speaking of people, the judges seem like they might have an eye on for the finale, or the producers might have an eye on for the finale. Suni Lee, her redemption dance will be a foxtrot to Haven't Met You Yet by Michael Bublé, and her new dance is also a contemporary
God.
for a gymnast doing a contemporary, and it will be to Gravity by Sarah Bareilles, another kind of tear jerker of a song. They want her in the finale. That like sounds like a great choice for her. Her fans could let her down. Like she could get great scores and still have trouble with viewer votes. What do you think about it, Cordell?
Oh man, yeah. Producers making this really hard. I think after last week's breakthrough, I think she's now like hit her groove at the right moment. So if she can just continue just having, fun and really embracing the moment, I think she could do very well. Initially, like I predicted, I thought maybe she would be one of the contestants that could be in the bottom, but I mean, that contemporary could just seal the deal for her to go into the finale as well. So the 3 slots already. I don't know about the 4th one.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I mean, given all the terrific work she and Sasha have been doing these past couple of weeks, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how they're going to do next week with both their dances, and if they continue this, yeah, I think they have a great shot at making it to the finale.
Yeah. It's interesting about Suni. Like after she first landed in the bottom 2, I'm like, oh, she's gonna be a rare early
Mm,
ouster for a gymnast. And now I think there's a really strong possibility because we know her fan base is a little bit not as reliable. There's a chance she could continue the curse of the Olympic all-around title and go to the finale and finish 4th,
yeah.
just like Nastia Liukin finished 4th and Simone Biles finished 4th. So that could be an interesting result. Melora Harden is next up. She had some trouble this week in terms of the viewer votes because she landed in the bottom 3. For the semifinals, her redemption dance will be a rumba to I Don't Want to Wait by Paula Cole. And their new dance.
Oh no, don't say contemporary.
It's another contemporary.
Lord.
To Thunder by Imagine Dragons, which that's not as obvious a fit as the other two contemporaries. I'm not sure what she's going to do to a contemporary to Thunder by Imagine Dragons. It seems like an odd choice. So based on and Rumba, it's a slow dance with a lot of details. I'm on the fence about whether, especially with two other contemporaries, this is going to do it for her. What do you think, Cordell?
Oh, poor Melora. First, the rumba. I mean, it's semifinals. Like, this is the time where we had those fun, energetic dances, and the rumba just isn't one of those dance styles unless you like make it really steamy and sexy, which I don't think they're gonna go that route, but you never know. Contemporary to your point, I mean, going against JoJo and Suni in the contemporary, that's gonna be really tough. Um, and then just based on her being in the bottom three last week, I don't think she would have enough votes against the remaining contestants to be in those top three scores to make it straight through. So unfortunately, I definitely see her in the bottom three. She could make it in the finale depending on who she's up against, or she could be the lowest vote getter. I think she's going to be in trouble.
Yeah, you just mentioned the rumba going the sexy route. That would be a dimension we haven't seen from her. So I think Artem should be calling up Gleb for some choreography advice. Make sure his shirt slowly comes off during the dance, and like a lot of that could work. What do you think? What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, let's see. I thought Melora and Artem both did well. I thought their performance this past week had some very imaginative production values and a great use of backup dancers, and I thought it was an incredible performance. But yeah, given how they they made it into the bottom three, but were safe. Well, yeah, I mean, with only 6 contestants left, it's easy for them to find themselves back into the bottom three again next week. And I mean, it could also even be a bigger struggle for them to make it into the finale. So let's just hope they put on the best performance possible and enough fan votes online or by text to really overcome elimination.
Then we've got Amanda Klutz, who we discussed earlier as seeming like a really solid bet for the finale. Now, after looking at those dances, let's see.
Okay.
She's got
No.
okay. Her redemption dance will be a tango to Titanium by David Guetta featuring Sia. And
Okay.
her new dance, drum roll please, is a contemporary to Live Your Life. Oh my God. Nick
Oh,
Cordero.
are you serious?
Yes. And it's by Lanai. It says like Live Your Life, the title Live Your Life dash Nick Cordero by Lanai. So I'm not sure if that's a song he's performed before or if it's dedicated to him or how that works. But oh yeah, she's in. She's done. Like
Yeah. Enough said. She's in. She's gonna be the last to perform of the night, like the last performance. They're gonna call her safe first. Like, Amanda, congratulations on your making it to the finale of Dance with the Stars season 30. That might seal the mirror ball for her as well. So
but now
no.
I'm not so sure about Suni's place. Just given you've got so many contemporaries and there's so, like 4 so far. I haven't looked at Cody's yet. We'll see what they're going to do for or to him, the producers, with his selection. What do you think about it, Jeffrey?
Well, I mean, man, again, as already been said, yeah, I think she's pretty much, well, I think that if she's not considered a lock for the finale already, I think, well, unless she disappoints with her performances next week, well, I mean, I think this should seal the deal for her, especially with her contemporary dancing to what was kind of the go-to song people think, well, from her late husband Nick Cordero, Live Your Life. Yeah, I think that's definitely gonna earn her a lot of sympathy and votes.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, going into this, like, this season has seen far fewer contemporaries overall than we're used to. I think they were just saving them up. Like, because they're the emotional dances. So once you've gotten to know a celebrity, they will have that emotional impact. And they already gave Iman one, so they practically gave him a freestyle with jazz, which brings us to Cody Rigsby. It's like, okay, they're trying to get rid of him.
Oh no.
I mean, it's not that. He doesn't have a samba or anything like that.
Okay.
But he doesn't have a contemporary either, or jazz.
Oh.
So his redemption dance will be Salsa to Danza Kuduro by Don Omar and Lucenzo. And then their new dance will be an Argentine tango to La Comparsita by Forever Tango. Yeah, he's just not the most technical of these dancers. Like I think he's actually done surprisingly well. I don't know where the tens came from this past week. The judges were really surprisingly lenient on him and scored him very generously last week for what I thought was a very good dance where he stood his own, but I don't think he was at the 10 level. So like, I don't know if they were expecting him to make the semifinals, but yeah, they didn't play to his specific strengths, I don't think. So I don't see him avoiding the bottom three. And especially with those emotional contemporaries from other celebrities. And if he's anywhere in the bottom three, like he's out, because if he's at the very bottom, he's automatically out. If he's in the bottom, if he's in the next two where the judges have to decide, there's no one else in this cast who the judges would pick him over, even Iman. So what do you think about that, Cordell? Is he done?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of screwed him over, the producers. Oh gosh. It's gonna be very interesting with Cody because him, Amanda, and Iman have never been in the bottom two yet. So this will really test his fan base, but also it will come down in terms of the point spread between him and the other contestants, as well as the reaction from the judges. If they're trying to do, their agenda of who they want to take out, which seems like it's going to be Cody, his fans could go nuts and vote for him. And I can see a scenario where, they announce Iman, Amanda, and Cody safe. And then it's between Melora, JoJo, and Suni for that last spot. I unfortunately see that because for him, the positive for him is that he doesn't have to compete with contemporary or a jazz routine. So he kind of has his own dance styles that the fans could gravitate towards and don't have to pick and choose from. So
well, he will have to dance an Argentine tango, which JoJo is also doing.
True.
And Iman is doing, no one else is doing a salsa.
Okay, so I mean, it could work in his favor, after people probably get a little fatigued with all the contemporaries that they might rally behind them. So I don't know. I think he'll probably go home, but knowing how Dancing with the Stars works, he'll probably be one of the finalists. So
yeah, I think what they're going to have to do if they want to avoid the fan base backlash is give him like positive feedback and like 8s and 9s.
Yes.
To kind of, he'll be at or near the bottom of the leaderboard, but his fans won't be panicked necessarily. What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, yeah, it should be interesting to see how Cody and Cheryl do next week. I mean, this past week I thought, well, okay, I wouldn't necessarily call their dance a home run, but it did look like the most exciting routine they performed in the competition so far. But yeah, it should be interesting to see again, not only how they're going to do next week, but also, well, because there's 50-50 chance they'll end up in the bottom three for the first time, especially, right the week before the finals. So again, it should definitely be a great test to not only their talents, but also their fan base.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so now that we know what the dances are, do we have any changes for who we think is that final four? Cordell, let's start with you, because I have a slight change.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I think the final four is going to be Amanda. I mean, if she is even in the bottom three, then I don't know what to tell you. But she's in. I think Iman is in. I'm gonna say JoJo and I could see Cody. I think that's the final four.
What about you, Jeffrey?
Okay, okay. In my Who Will Win Dancing with the Stars predictions on Gold Derby, I have the five I have in there are JoJo, Amanda, Iman, Suni, and Cody. As for who I think will actually make the final four, well, I think JoJo and Amanda are almost definite locks. Iman, I feel, is getting there, and even though I can definitely see Cody still making it, I'm actually okay. This might be wishful thinking on my part, but I actually have Suni taking the rounding it out.
Yeah, I'm with Jeffrey. I think I feel, especially with these dance selections, JoJo and Amanda getting contemporary. I think they're in, especially with emotional music that they're dancing to, and I think Iman, his fan base has just been rock solid, reliable, and he's gonna get a jazz number that's gonna, I think, play to his strengths. So I think he's in. And looking at these other dances, she's got an emotional contemporary. She's a gymnast who's going to be able to execute that really well. She's going to get the scores. She might get the votes because of the emotionality if she can bring that out, which I think she'll be able to on a contemporary easier than in some of these other dance styles. So I think Suni might get that last spot, especially if, and I can see that happening even if Suni's in the bottom three, because obviously one of the people who makes the finale is gonna be from the bottom three. So like I can see if it's down to her, like let's say hypothetically that Cody is automatically eliminated, even if it's between Suni and Melora, if Suni really brings it, and which will show her improvement over the course of the season, I can see them giving her that last spot. Melora, though, I could see Len giving the spot to Melora, but yeah, it's hard to like. I think that would be a tough call for the judges to make. But like if they're side by side with contemporaries, I think Suni might win that comparison, and it might go her way.
Yeah, see, what I'm envisioning, I think they're just gonna call like Iman first. They're gonna call Amanda second, and I could just see them calling Cody third, and all heck is gonna break loose. And then Melora's gonna be the lowest score, and then it's gonna be between Suni and JoJo. I just have this weird feeling.
Oh, that would be so hard. And JoJo would get the spot from there.
Exactly. Like I feel like that's what's going to happen. I don't want to put it in the universe, but the last couple seasons, it's just been really weird when it gets to that semifinals that we see those tough decisions being made. And I'm not underestimating Cody's fan base. Like I just feel like him and Iman, the judges can do whatever they want. I think those two are going to get in. And Amanda, I mean, with the dance style and the tribute to her husband, how could you not vote for her? So
yeah, it's gonna be tough. Like, and it's kind of a good problem to have where you're at a stage where you're not like even Cody, who I think we could all probably agree is the sixth best of these six remaining contestants, but he's not like, I mean, he's better than Bobby Bones was, who won the Mirror Ball Trophy.
Exactly.
He's better than some other people who have finished third or fourth or fifth. He's better than David Ross, who finished second. He's actually good, just in comparison to this stacked season. Is the only place he suffers. So like even if he made the finale, it wouldn't be the worst, except who we're gonna have to see in that bottom three, which would just be so awful.
I know.
Any other year, Cody would be welcome in the finale. This is just one of those tough years. But yeah, the America might choose violence. They really might. But we'll have to wait and find out what happens. I think any of these scenarios are possible. I really think this is one of the most confusing lineups in the sense that, like, it's hard to even say anyone's 100% a lock for the finale. Like we saw James Vanderbeek go home like a
Yeah.
couple seasons ago when we thought he was in. So we will find out on Monday night, and we will discuss it after the fact, as we have done every week this season. As always, thank you, Jeffrey and Cordell, for joining me and for preparing me for the worst. And thank you to everyone for watching. We will see you again next week.